Aloha and welcome. This is EDU America. I'm Alfred Asenas coming to you from the 50th state in the U.S., Hawaii. I'm also on Oahu Island, also known as Honolulu County. Some good trip there. Yes, we are wrapping up our 4th of July weekend. Some of us are still celebrating with some red, white, and blue, as you can tell. And celebrating as well are my correspondents in the U.S., and a belated happy Independence Day to everyone. We start New Jersey with May and Manzana Gorzon and their governor signing executive orders extending public health emergency and increasing outdoor activity limit. In Texas, North Texas, we have Nenita Manawis reporting about CDC ranking Texas as number 3 among the U.S. states with the most COVID-19 cases. Moving down to South Texas in Corpus Christi, we have with us Jane Kathleen Gregorio.
Access roads to Corpus Christi beaches remain closed.
And moving out west to Las Vegas, we have Anna Cui.
President Trump suspends J-1 visas. What does this mean for the Clark County School District here in Las Vegas?
Moving further west to California, Ivan Sanchez updates us on the city of Lancaster holding its 4th of July fireworks show despite the request by California's governor to refrain from public gatherings. Interesting topic. Plus, we're going to have a heartfelt conversation with someone about some interesting travel destinations who like to travel. And yes, travel, even during these times, is still possible. Let's find out more. As always, we will begin with the latest on the coronavirus pandemic, which, according to Johns Hopkins University, as of today, the number of cases of COVID-19 reported worldwide is now more than 11 million. This includes more than 2,800,000 in the United States. On a sad note, more than 500,000 lives worldwide have been lost, including more than 129,000 in the U.S. And even in an otherwise festive mood this weekend, we still extend our condolences to the loved ones and friends of those who lost the battle to this dangerous disease. And we cannot stress enough to please practice the safety guidelines that are out there. We begin, like we said, with America celebrating its 244th independence. American military aircraft recently performed a flyover at Washington, D.C., as President Donald Trump held a second Salute America event right on Independence Day, July 4. Across the country, virus fears dampened or nixed. Main Street parades, backyard barbecues, and family reunions on a day when Americans typically celebrate their 1776 celebration of independence from Great Britain. Now, popular beaches along America's coastlines, normally packed on the 4th of July, were closed this year as California and Florida, for instance, suffer alarming surges of COVID-19 infections. Specifically, Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti warned citizens to, quote, assume everyone around you is infectious, end of quote. On Saturday as well, the state of Florida marked a new daily high in confirmed virus cases at 11,458, far more than any other U.S. state at this time. Miami Beach, meanwhile, imposed a curfew and made mask wearing mandatory in public, yet some Florida beaches remained open. The beach at New York City's Coney Island was also open and crowded, with few wearing masks. Now, fireworks burst near the National Mall in Washington, D.C. during the 2020 Salute to America celebration in commemoration of Independence Day. Now, these displays are typically a high point of the holiday, but an estimated 80% of the events have been canceled this year. Washington hosted a fireworks show on the National Mall, and some said they were compelled to come at a moment when the U.S. is both grappling with the virus and undergoing a historic reckoning on racism. On a similar note, Black Lives Matter protesters gather in front of the White House in Washington, D.C., where security has been enhanced as the U.S. Capitol prepares for the holiday celebrations. Protests have continued in U.S. cities since the killing of George Floyd in May, and more than a score were taking place on Saturday in the nation's capital. Now, let us shift gears to embassy news. The Philippines retains Tier 1 ranking in the U.S. Trafficking in Persons, or TIP, report for the 5th year in a row. The retention of the Philippines ranking at Tier 1, according to the U.S. State Department's 20th edition of Trafficking in Persons report, underlines the country's seriousness in combating all forms of human trafficking. Also, for the 5th year in a row, the United States has recognized the efforts of the Philippines to prevent TIP, protect the victims, and prosecute perpetrators of this heinous crime. In a statement, the Philippine government reiterates its full commitment to working with domestic and international partners, including the U.S., in addressing this global concern. It said the Philippines shall continue to engage with both labor sending, but more importantly, labor receiving countries in promoting the welfare and protecting the rights of migrant workers everywhere. Case in point, here in Hawaii, the state of Hawaii also has a system and some policies to combat trafficking here in the Aloha State. So it's not just exclusive, at the national level, but even at the local level, governments are at the state and city levels are also combating similar issues. When we come back, we will now get with our correspondents from across the United States with their updates. Eagle News America will be back shortly. Stay with us.
Patindi ng patindi at tuloy-tuloy ang pagpapakita ng galing ng ating mga TNG aspirants.
You're just too good to be true.
It up, you came to get it drunk with a dame, I shit it drunk, you got it.
When I was a child.
Abangan ng kanilang performances sa pinakamalaking talent competition sa buong bansa, Tagisan ng Galing.
Tagisan ng Galing is presented by SMC Infrastructure, building a better world. Sandig sugar-free white coffee, puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na Sandig sugar-free white coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free. Veg-approved Nutrichops, the only premium dog food with active boost for optimum energy and prebiotics that help strengthen immunity. Just like Catherine Bernardo, gawing listo ganado ang fur babies niyo. Listo ganado sa Nutrichops. Magnolia Chicken Templados, delicious, ready to cook and freshly marinated daily. Pure Foods Lunch and Meat, pure sarap for every family. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Walang duda, kids can tell na #1 ang Pure Foods Tender Juicy. Ang tender, ang juicy, ang sarap. Co-presented by Cooper, expert in air conditioning and electromechanical. Also engaged in structural, electrical, fire protection, plumbing, and sanitary services. Cooper, your ultimate MEPS and air conditioning solutions. Unlad Incorporated International, fight against global poverty. New San Jose Builders Incorporated, Canrib Corporation, your ventilation and air conditioning specialist. Vita Herbs Philippines Green Coffee. Masarap, mabango, at healthy pa. Puerto Rico Resort and Convention Center, Cabiao, Nueva Ecija. I love Puerto Rico. In participation with Rain or Shine Elastomeric Waterproofing Paint, Matimco, R Square Variables Incorporated, Compizel Enterprises, Saisho International Trading Corporation, DN Steel, IMAC UPB Roof Corporation.
Hey, Gretchen Ho here, and I'm a white coffee lover. Creamy kasi, and very yummy. Pero mas masarap kung hindi nakaka-guilty. Check my new discovery, Sandmade Sugar-Free White Coffee. Puno ng white coffee taste without the sugar, kaya lower calories. Try mo na! Sandmade Sugar-Free White Coffee. Sarap ng white coffee, now sugar-free.
The successful development of TPLEX, or Tarlac-Pangasinan-La Union Expressway in 2009, a 4-lane toll road that extends from Tarlac City to Rosario, La Union, with an additional approved extension of 56 kilometers all the way to San Juan, La Union. This is expected to reduce travel time to Baguio and other provinces in northern Luzon. Realizing the vision of creating a better world for Filipinos fueled the team's focus.
Listo at ganado ang baby ko sa vet-approved Nutri-Chunks with active boost and prebiotics na pampalisto. Made with real meat, with essential nutrients to help them grow healthy and happy. Listo, ganado sa Nutri-Chunks.
Ikaw lang ang star ng buhay ko. Para sa akin, perfect ka. Ang cheesy ng corned beef mo. Pag Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef, sarap ng corned beef, inangat pa ng real cheese cubes. Star Chunky Cheese Corned Beef.
Welcome back to Eagle News America. I'm Alfred Ascendas coming to you live. Yes, we are live right here in Honolulu, Hawaii. We begin in New Jersey in the East Coast, where the governor signs executive orders extending the public health emergency there and increasing outdoor capacity limit. For more details, we have our correspondent, Mayan Manzana-Gorson. Mayan?
Thank you, Alfred. Governor Murphy signs executive order extending public health emergency in New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy on July 2nd signed Executive Order number 162. The order extends the public health emergency that was declared on March 9, 2020 through Executive Order number 103, which was previously extended on April 7, May 6, and June 4. Under the Emergency Health Powers Act, a declared public health emergency expires after 30 days unless renewed. Take a look.
I have extended the public health emergency in our state for an additional 30 days. These declarations, unless extended, expire after 30 days. What today's action means is that we will have the authority to remain vigilant and prepared to act should there be a new outbreak, please God, no, of COVID-19. And we continue to work vigilantly to protect against exactly that happening. But we can't do this all by ourselves. You've been extraordinary, and we continue to need all 9 million of you to continue working right alongside of us.
Executive Order number 162 extends all executive orders issued under the Governor's authority under the Emergency Health Powers Act. It also extends all actions taken by any executive branch departments and agencies in response to the public health emergency presented by the COVID-19 outbreak. Another executive order signed by Governor Murphy is to increase outdoor gathering capacity limit as COVID-19 cases in New Jersey continue to decline. Effective at 6 in the morning on Friday, July 3rd, outdoor gatherings are limited to 500 persons, and outdoor religious services and political activities will continue to have no numerical limits. All indoor gatherings continue to be limited to 25% capacity of the rooms in which they will take place, with a maximum of 100 persons. Let's watch this.
We first signaled this eventuality back on June 9th, and we are comfortable at this time to keep to the timetable we set. So on Monday, when outdoor graduation ceremonies are slated to begin and games to be played, schools will be able to accommodate them. First Amendment protected activities such as political or religious gatherings will continue to have no limits outdoors. And our limits on all indoor gatherings are 25% of capacity, but with a maximum of 100 people. That remains unchanged.
Before the said order, outdoor gatherings were limited to 250 persons, with the exception of outdoor religious services and political activities. In Sicklerville, New Jersey, Mayan Manzano Garzon, Eagle News will live in interesting times. Back to you, Alfred.
Mahalo, and thank you very much for that update, Mayan. Good to know that the case count there in the Garden State is on the decline, but of course we cannot take that lightly. So please continue to be safe, you and your family there. From the East Coast, we head on down south to the Lone Star State of Texas, where we have not one, but two reports. We begin in North Texas, where the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC, ranks the state of Texas as number 3 among the U.S. states with the most COVID-19 cases. From Dallas, we have Nenita Manawis with the details. Aloha, Nenita.
Aloha, Alfred. And howdy to you from the Lone Star State. Let me start my report by giving you some statistics. On July 4th, Texas has recorded 8,258 new COVID-19 cases, by far the highest number recorded in the state, bringing the total number of confirmed cases in Texas to 191,790 as of yesterday morning. On the CDC website, Texas is currently the number 3 amongst all states and territories in the U.S. with the most number of COVID-19 cases. With this upward trend of new COVID-19 cases and hospitalization admissions, effective July 3rd, Governor Abbott of Texas issued 2 new statewide executive orders, an executive order that requires masks and a proclamation that prohibits gatherings of more than 10 people. In a video message, Governor Abbott acknowledged the swift and substantial spike in COVID-19 cases in the state, and hence the need to refocus on slowing the spread but not closing Texas again. He encouraged Texas that if they can, to stay at home or work from home, though he clarified that this is not the stay-at-home order. And if they have to go out, to stay 6 feet away from others that they are not traveling with. All the more, Governor Abbott stressed the importance of wearing face coverings.
One of the best ways to keep businesses open while also slowing the spread is for everyone to wear a face covering like this when they go out. Medical studies have shown that wearing a face covering slows the spread of COVID-19 and it protects you and your family. That is why today I am issuing a face covering requirement for all counties with more than 20 COVID cases.
Also on July 3rd, the Texas Supreme Court issued an order to cancel the 2-day in-person July Texas bar examination. Exam takers, however, have an alternative to take the online test on October 5 to 6. Another option is an in-person test on September 9 to 10, although this schedule is subject to guidance from public health authorities. Meantime, the number of Texans filing for unemployment has been in the upward trend in the last 3 weeks, as posted on the Texans Workforce Commission website. from 89,241 claims recorded on June 20. The number of unemployment claims has increased to 141,000 as of July 4. But this is still less than half of the highest number of recorded claims this year, which was 313,832, which was recorded on April 4. In Dallas, Texas, I'm Nanita Manawes. Eagle News. We live in interesting times.
Thank you very much, Nanita, for that update. And do be safe there in Dallas. Still in the state of Texas, access roads to Corpus Christi beaches are closed. Yes, they are closed. We have our Bureau Chief there, Kathleen Gregorio, with the details. Kathleen, aloha.
Aloha, Alfred, and howdy from Corpus Christi, Texas, which you might say is the Hawaii of Texas because of our... And speaking of which, summer is usually the popular time for families to enjoy and tourists to vacation at our local beaches. But this past weekend, in addition to the cancellation of the mayor's 4th of July fireworks display due to the rising COVID-19 surges, access roads were also closed to Corpus Christi beaches. By order of the county judge, the city of Corpus Christi, Port Aransas, and Nueces County have closed all beach access roads and parks beginning on Friday, July 3rd, 6 a.m. through Tuesday, July 7th at 6 a.m. A daily curfew has also been issued starting 8 p.m. and ending 6 a.m. each day through Saturday, July 11th, 2020. Access roads to all beaches from Port Aransas through the Padre Island National Seashore will be closed to vehicular traffic, including golf carts and all-terrain vehicles. This also includes beach access for all city and county parks. According to the Corpus Christi Nueces County Public Health District, over the 4th of July weekend, Nueces County recorded 4 deaths related to COVID-19, bringing the total death number to 14, with nearly 3,800 cases in Nueces County alone. As the number of COVID-19 hospitalizations increase, so do the number of fatalities. The health district strongly advises residents to protect themselves and the people around them by adhering to public health and safety measures. In Corpus Christi, Texas, I'm Jane Kathleen Gregorio, Eagle News. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alfred.
Mahalo much, and thank you, Kathleen, for that update. I know you've been there in Texas for years. I'm curious, though. Okay, I'm a big fan of Texas barbecue. As a matter of fact, for lunch, we just had some briskets, you know, and some ribs. I know our director, our producer there at DC is itching for some. So for some of that, we'll send her some. But I have to ask you, I'm sure you, your friends, family have talked about, done a little bit of comparison of the festivities, the 4th of July, this year compared to previous year. Some good. Share us your thoughts on the differences.
Well, you know, Alfred, that's a good question because, you know, being with Corpus Christi being by the beach, we have an annual city celebration here that's sponsored by the mayor as well as HEB, where he has his the mayor's annual Big Bang 4th of July fireworks display. And normally everyone, you know, will gather in downtown. Starting in the afternoon, there's like a food truck festival and a lot of activities, and you know, it's a lot of crowds, very festive. But because of all of the cancellations and all of the closures, everybody that I know is pretty much just staying home, had stayed home for the 4th of July weekend. It was a very quiet celebration. On the good side, maybe we spent less money because trucks can be kind of expensive, and also the other festivities, the things that, you know, you have to pay for, like parking. But, you know, so we were able to save money then, and also we were able to increase family time. You know, and the not so good side is, you know, like you feel that restriction, you feel that that sense of like curiosity, like is anything gonna go back to normal anytime soon? Because we had these long-standing traditions of having big parties at the beach, big picnics, and you just can't help but wonder how things will change even more in the future. But on the bright side, speaking of barbecue, my husband, for his birthday, he has a new smoker and a grill, and so he started doing experiments with different barbecues. And this actually ties into you, Alfred, because he created this Kona coffee rub for our baby back ribs, and it was really, really delicious. Or as one would say in Hawaii, it was ono-licious. And in addition to that, we also smoked some brisket. It took several hours and everyone was hungry, but wow, it was really worth it. And of course, we had a lot of video calls with friends and family, since there were no big family get-togethers this year. Alfred?
It'd be nice to have your husband and some friends there share that video of that experience. Give us some ideas on how to properly use a smoker or a barbecue pit, because it's yeah.
That's right, Alfred. You sparked an idea. Maybe in one of the future episodes, we'll have him do like a DIY of how to do his Kona coffee rub baby rack ribs, or a different kind of barbecue. So yeah, that's a really great idea. We will definitely plan that for the future.
And I think our producer and DC already made note of that. So woohoo! Something to look forward to.
Definitely, Alfred.
Well, you take care of yourself there, and we'll get back to you in a bit. We're going to talk about something interesting later on in the broadcast. So thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you, Alfred, and mahalo.
When we come back, we'll get more updates, this time out west. We will return in a moment. Don't go away. This is Eagle News.
Mga kababayan, naharap na naman po tayo sa mabigat na pagsubok na ito. Ito yung COVID-19.
I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's safe.
Nandito po kami para hikayatin pa po kayo na maging matibay.
Mas maging matatag po tayo, and just stay positive po sa lahat po ng nangyayari ngayon.
Mga mahal kong kababayan, lampasan po natin, pagtagumpayan po natin ang pagsubok na ito.
Stay strong sa panahon po na to.
Huwag tayong mawawalan ng pag-asa.
At inihikayat din po namin kayo na sana makinig po tayo sa ating gobyerno.
Sumunod muna tayo sa gobyerno dahil yun yung pinakamainam na paraan para hindi na lumagana pa yung virus.
Let's all stay at home.
Spend time with our loved ones, with our families.
At higit po sa lahat, make sure to pray for everyone, pray for everything that is going on right now, especially our frontliners po who are sacrificing their lives to take care of everything.
Higit sa lahat, patuloy tayong lumapit, magtiwala at manalangin sa ating Panginoong Diyos.
Lagi tayong manalangin dahil yung po ang may pinaka-mainam na solusyon sa lahat po ng mga problema natin.
God bless you and your family. Please stay strong and keep our faith.
Tuloy po ang laban.
My name is Robin, and I'm 5 years old. My mom and dad said many people are getting sick. That is why we have to stay at home. That is why I cannot go to school. I cannot play outside, and I cannot even visit my friends. We can only go outside if we visit the doctor, or if we need to buy some food. my homework, clean up my toys, help cooking our food, and help my parents with their work. Please stay home so we can all play together again. Bye!
Welcome back to our live broadcast. I'm Alfred Esenes coming to you from Hawaii. Boy, we can never get enough of that barbecue. That's something that we're going to expand on in the future episodes. Anyway, we'll go back to our updates out in Las Vegas. President Trump suspends J1 visas. What does this mean for Clark County School District out in Nevada? Our bureau chief there in Vegas, Anna Cui, may have the answer. Aloha, Anna.
Aloha, Alfred. Yes, according to a recent press release from Nevada.gov website, Governor Steve Sisolak sent a letter to President Trump urging him to reverse course on his suspension of the J1 visa program for educators specifically. Those of you who are wondering what's a J1 visa, well, according to the U.S. Department of State, Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, the J1 visa provides many opportunities for international candidates looking to travel and gain experience in the United States. It provides multifaceted programs that enable foreign nationals to come to the U.S. to teach, to study, conduct research, demonstrate special skills, or receive on-the-job training for periods ranging from a few weeks to several years. And according to the same website, in 2019, there were 3,454 educators who came to the U.S. With a J1 visa, and they all teach full-time at U.S.-accredited primary or secondary schools. Philippines was actually at the top of that list, and they sent 932 teacher exchange visitors in 2019, 57 of which were sent here to Clark County in Las Vegas. So per Governor Sisolak, the Nevada Department of Education employs around 250 educators on J1 visas at any given time. Although the president's proclamation would not impact those currently working in the state, the governor states it would prevent school districts from hiring nearly 100 new teachers for the upcoming school year. So as it stands, this proclamation would negatively impact 95 teachers, 88 of whom were recruited already to fill critical special education vacancies here in Nevada. In the letter, Governor Sisolak asked President Trump to amend his proclamation and provide an immediate exemption for these instructors. He further stated that in its current form, this proclamation would have a devastating impact on the most vulnerable students needing special education teachers, not just here in Nevada, but throughout the entire nation. And in line with education, the Clark County School District released their reopening plans for the upcoming school year. They are following the guidelines outlined in the Nevada Roadmap to Recovery Plan, as they provided their top guiding principles, which are the following. First, ensure the safety and well-being of all students and employees. Second, to promote equity and accessibility to learning for all students, and to provide instructional delivery systems to meet the needs of all students. The proposed schedule will be 2 days of face-to-face instruction at school and 3 days of learning online at home. They also considered delaying the start of school, which is now slated for August 24, 2020. Here are some thoughts from parents concerning this proposed schedule. Let's listen in. Well, we actually had a couple of parents who expressed their concerns. One of them said that since, she has 2 kids in elementary school age, and she said since there are no vaccine yet, she would definitely prefer for them to, to do remote schooling, to continue with that. And then we have another parent who said that, she understands the concerns of those parents who are working. Luckily for this parent, she's able to work from home, so it doesn't affect her as much. But there are parents who work, so the 3 days at home, 2 days at school, it's really going to be a challenge for them to be able to find, even afford, daycare, somebody to look over their kids when they are supposed to be at home. Before I let you go, Alfred, here are the updates on our COVID-19 statistics. According to the COVID-19 tracking project for the state of Nevada, as of today, July 5, 2020, we have over 22,000 positive cases out of over 307,000 tests. And that gives us a positivity rate of 7.3%. The number of hospitalization is up 14.8% from 662 on July 2, 2020 to 760 today. In Las Vegas, Anna Cui, Eagle News, we live in interesting times. Back to you, Alfred.
Mahalo. Thank you very much, Anna, for that update, especially as similar here in Hawaii, the Department of Education is also gearing up for the 2020-21 school year. Now, what about you? What are your thoughts about the proposed the schedule, which either plan? It's a one size doesn't fit all. Some will prefer virtual, and some will prefer in person with social distancing or little social distancing. But what are your thoughts on the proposal?
Yeah, I really commend the Clark County School District. It's hard for anybody actually to make that decision, because they're not going to meet everybody's needs. It is going to be a challenge for parents who are working full time, and they if they have young kids that will need someone to look after them when they're at home. Those parents that can't afford to work from home or to stay at home, it's going to be a challenge. For me, my youngest is going to be a junior in high school, and it's she's not looking forward to the half and half. She tried online school for 1 year during her sophomore year, and she didn't like it very much. So we'll see. It's going to be a challenge, but there's nothing we can do about it except make the best of the situation that we'll have. Back to you, Alfred.
And you mentioned your own who prefers a different kind of learning method. Just because you got these kids like my own kids, they can be tech savvy, but they also prefer face-to-face conventional learning as opposed to distance learning. So that's an interesting dynamic. Again, it's not once. Yeah, go ahead.
Right, and not just that. The kids at their age, during that time, school age, they need interaction, social interaction with other kids. That's one thing that they look forward to, right? When they go to school, is to be able to see their friends, and so that's another thing that some parents are concerned about.
That's great, Anna. Great. Don't go away. We're going to have a little discussion on a lighthearted topic. I know it's kind of near and dear to our hearts now during this pandemic. So thank you, Anna, for that update. City of Lancaster. Let's move on now to Southern California. Lancaster holds its 4th of July fireworks show despite California Governor Newsom's request to prevent such public gatherings. For more in Lancaster, we have Ivan Sanchez with his report. Ivan.
Thank you, Alfred. I am here at the Lancaster National Soccer Center in Lancaster, California, a place which usually hosts soccer practices, matches, and tournaments within its 34 fields. However, last night, this park was transformed into the last-minute location of the City of Lancaster 4th of July fireworks extravaganza, which went ahead after a standoff between city and county and state officials. About 1 hour before the 9 p.m. start time, the Lancaster mayor was on these grounds signing a contract for the event to happen. Mayor R.X. Paris said he was here, quote, pushing the button to start the fireworks show, end quote, after it was canceled at the original venue due to the county order and state mandate against fireworks shows to prevent public gatherings in light of the recent statewide surge in COVID-19 positive tests as well as coronavirus-related hospitalizations. The show lasted about 20 minutes. Physical distancing was practiced as parking lots here were closed. Spectators watched safely from their cars as well as in the adjacent desert fields. Legal, political, and public health repercussions, if any, remain to be seen. For Eagle News in Lancaster, California, this is Ivan Sanchez. We live in interesting times. Back to you, Alfred.
Thank you very much, Ivan, and you stay safe over there in California. Coming up, we will have a conversation with our correspondents and someone who is into traveling around in different places around the world. Hawaii. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back to our live broadcast coming to you from Hawaii. Summertime here in the United States is usually when people take a break from work and school and use their vacation days to see and visit other places and other people. Although our situation right now may affect our usually planned getaways, we're going to talk with our special guest and some of our correspondents about interesting places they've been to, and if given a chance, places they wish to see in the future. All right. So joining us tonight is a well-traveled individual out in Temple Hills, Maryland. We welcome Brian Torres. Aloha, Brian.
Aloha, Alfred. Thank you so much for having me on your show today. Aloha to everyone who's watching.
Thank you for joining us, Brian. So let's start with just the basics. What got you into traveling a lot?
Well, besides being off from work, I look forward to traveling because it helps me refocus in my job, and also for my personal diary as far as what have I done, where have I been to, and also like experiencing different cultures, tasting different foods, and just seeing the world itself. I'm pretty sure that the world has so much to offer for us. And when I come back from those travels, I can't wait to show my families, my friends, what I was able to accomplish and what I saw in my own eyes. So those things that basically allow me to travel to those different places around the world.
So in your experience, just highlight what places have you been to that you really sticks to your memory and that you really want to suggest to others to visit. Just name a few places for us.
I have a lot of places that I've been to, but from the top of my head, I will just go ahead. My number one choice would be El Nido, Palawan. That is just one amazing place. Also Boracay in the Philippines as well. And my third pick would be Coron in Palawan as well. Those would be my three choices that I would highly suggest that people would travel to.
Now, of course, you've got all these travel guides, whether online, hard copy, and feedback from those who've been there. How do you, you talk about some other details that normally, the travel industry doesn't publish too much. How do you work your way towards finding those so-called hidden gems in those locations?
you really have to plan it out and making sure that you do all your research and that you ask people around who have been there, and don't ask too much of that. You don't overexpose yourself to the things that they already see, because you want to know what is it like to see these places, to taste different foods, to know different cultures. So a lot of times, what people don't tell you, like the industry, as far as like flying out, as long as you basically plan things out ahead of time, it's plan, plan, plan. When you do those things, you'll be able to save money, and maybe for flights, maybe for hotels, and even activities. If you basically do your research, you'll be able to save a lot of money as far as planning those trips.
You mentioned a very important point about saving money and operating on a tight budget. What kind of tips can you share as far as being able to go where you want to go, and at the same time, stretch your money, so to speak?
Of course. What I do, Alfred, is I save some of my paychecks that I get every paycheck that I get. I probably will save about 15 to 20% of my paycheck towards vacation budget. And so then I make sure that I only work within the budget, because there are many choices when you go to places like Boracay and the different islands, Philippines, and just all over the world. You get what you pay for. Of course, if you want to live this fabulous life and rich life, then basically you have to spend more. But if you were to save money and just basically bringing lunches and don't go out in the mall a lot, and just know your want and need, that's very important, because all of us want everything, but you just have to know what you need and live by that. You have to look at your marginal benefit, and just to see what basically will give you the most benefit.
Now, and we discussed this offline, especially in social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. You have these travel bloggers, who have millions of followers, viewers, and they try out different destinations. They try out different flights and actually reviews them. Can we expect Brian Torres to be online to share his experience with us anytime soon?
I've thought about that, and I actually just basically, I try not to watch a lot of blogging before I go to a certain place, so that I don't ruin the element of surprise. But once I basically put together like pictures and videos, and I can edit myself, I want to give it the world as not edited, so then you get to see what you're looking at. Because a lot of these bloggers, they would basically only show you what they want you to see. But as far as other things that, sometimes you go to a place, you think it's all paradise and everything, but you don't know, like, the people over there, how are they living? So we basically will have to be mindful of different things. So maybe one day, God willing, I'll be able to do my own blog. But for now, I'll just basically enjoy all of my experiences and all my time together with friends and families. I travel with sometimes, but a lot of times I travel alone. As they say, you grow with a group, you'll have fun, but you go alone, you'll go far. And that's basically how far I've been to different places around the world.
Now, let's open the floor now to my news colleagues here. We start with Anna Cui in Las Vegas. I'm going to have her ask a question to you there. Go ahead, Anna.
Actually, Alfred, before hi Brian, how are you? Before I ask my question,
how are you?
Aloha. Good. But if you just give me a few minutes to go back to the two parents, the two moms that I talked to you about their concerns or their thoughts with the reopening plans of the school schedule here in Las Vegas. Let's listen to them.
As a parent with 3 children in the Clark County School District, I feel that the educators that are planning to have the 2021 school year with 3 days a week online courses and 2 days a week working face-to-face with the students is probably a good plan, better than I can think of. I don't know what the right answer is, but I do know that as long as they're putting the children's health and safety as the #1 priority, then I would support this plan going forward. It's definitely going to be a challenge to create a space for the children and a space for myself since I work from home during the day, but probably even more challenging for those who might have to find daycare or other means to do what they need to do if they have to go back to work while their kids stay at home and do studying online. So we will have to get through this together as a community, as families who support one another, and always keeping the children's best interests as our #1 priority, keeping them healthy and safe, and also making sure that they get the education that they need.
As a mom of 2 children who are in elementary and middle school, so we got a survey and it asked us parents to choose which option we preferred, where it's either distance learning full-time at home or 2 to 3 days a week at school. So for me, I chose full distance learning. There's no vaccine, the pandemic is not under control, and more than that, I did not like envisioning what the school year would look like with the new guidelines if they had to go to 2 to 3 times a week.
So my question is, Brian, I love the pictures of your travel. I'm so jealous that you get to see all these beautiful places. You mentioned El Nido. El Nido is one of the places that I would love to see in the Philippines. But one question, because you also mentioned there's different ways that you can save money when you do travel. Can you share 1 or 2 things that you've actually done or came across with as far as what you saved on during one of your travels?
Basically, what I did at one point was I wanted to try what's the difference between traveling from one airport to another. So, for example, there's an island called Boracay. With Boracay, there are 2 different airports. There's Caticlan and there's Calibo. So if you go to Caticlan, that would be 1 flight. That's it. You'll land in Boracay. Get the welcome Boracay and everything else. You see all the blue water and everything else. But the other airport is Calibo. Calibo basically is another airport 2 hours away though from the Boracay. So what that means basically is that you have to travel another 2 hours to get to Boracay. So that means you have to travel by land, meaning you have to. That's one thing that you can save on. Basically, if you're not really excited to get to Boracay so quick, then you can go to Calibo and basically ride the car or ride the van. But if you want to get there early, I mean, you're really excited to get there, then you can basically land in Caticlan.
Well, thank you for that.
Yep. The money that you save for that, basically you can put that in your food budget. Or other activities that you have to do in Boracay, because those also cost money. And other things like activities, you have to talk to different people, making sure, because there's other people that basically they call it a sniper, or they go around and he said, hey man, do you want to avail for service? Low cameras you have, and they still compare things like that. But this is legally installed with this.
Thanks much, Anna, for that question. Let's turn now to Kathleen out in Texas. Kathleen, any questions for our Globe Trekker, Brian?
Howdy from Texas. Brian. So Brian, you mentioned that you don't necessarily, or when following other bloggers or vloggers, they may not necessarily mention the not so nice things about going on vacation. So it leads me to ask you, what are among the places you visited? What was the best one for food, and what was the cleanest place that you vacationed in?
Wow, those are great questions. Basically, the one thing though I want to say that the reason why I don't watch is just because I don't want to ruin the element of surprise. I want to see it there. And for your first one what was the most interesting place I've been to? You said it would have to be Palawan, El Nido, Palawan, because the waters there and different islands are just I've never seen that before. It just basically looks like a real life Avatar movie. Where it's like blue waters. You could snorkel like right there, right in front of your feet. You don't even have to swim in to see good fish and flowery fish and everything. Yes.
And which place had the best food, in your opinion?
Best food would be Siargao, because in Siargao you get to basically eat all the seafood. And the best thing about it is you don't have to share with everyone. Everything, you name it, fish, seafood, chicken, beef, all of the above, in one price. Oh, and then you get to eat in the island. And there are different islands. They're like naked islands. And you're not naked there. It's just basically the island is naked. No trees, nothing there. So you get to eat there and have fun in the sun and things like that. So I highly recommend the food in Siargao. It's really good and cheap. It's not that expensive. What you see on bloggers, it's not that expensive. You just have to do your research.
Okay, guys. Thanks, Kathleen. Okay, so we got a couple of minutes left. Let's pose this question now. If you had the chance to drop everything and go within the 24-hour notice, all expense paid, where do you want to go anywhere in the world at this point? Let's start with you, Brian.
You wouldn't believe this, Alfred. You know what's my mind? I'd really love to go to Hawaii. I also want to go to Hawaii. People talk about it. There's different islands I'm seeing. It's in my number one on my bucket list. I think I have to go there before I die. That would be my last death wish.
Okay. How about you, Kathleen? Where do you want to go on a moment's notice?
On a moment's notice, I would love to see the lavender fields of Provence during the lavender season during the summer. At a moment's notice.
Southern France, I believe, isn't it? Southern France? Awesome. Excellent choice. Anna, how about you? Where would you like to go right now?
I think Brian convinced me. I want to go to El Nido. That's one of the places that I really want to go to. See the waters, just lay there, eat all the food I want.
That's great. Guys, the bottom line, travel is still possible. We just have to get educated on what to do and what not to do. And we thank you very much, Brian, for taking a few moments of your time with us and sharing us your experiences. And to all those who aspire to travel anywhere in the world, there is still a way. We just have to get ourselves informed. Thank you, Anna and Kathleen, for the discussion. Now, before we sign off, we continue to thank our frontline essential workers for doing what they're doing best in protecting our health and welfare. And to our first responders, in looking out for our safety in our communities as well. We thank you for watching Eagle News America Live. I'm Alfred Asenas, coming to you from Honolulu, Hawaii. We live in interesting times. Aloha.